Hey guys, how's it going? It's Karl here, and today we are comparing the rivals in the fitness band industry. We have the brand new Gear Fit from Samsung, and we'll compare that to the ever so popular Nike Fuelband 2nd Gen or the Nike Fuelband SE. One thing to remember, the 2nd Gen Fuelband has been out for 5 to 6 months. It also costs $150 compared to the $200 price sticker of the Gear Fit. In terms of band design, the Nike Fuelband can be bought in a couple different colors, but it won't really change the overall look as you're only changing the accent color. Whereas the Samsung Gear Fit, you can swap out the band for I believe 5 to 6 different colors. The Gear Fit also fits and feels more like a watch, whereas the Nike Fuelband fits and feels more like a bracelet. The Fuelband is more traditional in terms of design and display. It's powered on by 100 individual LED lights that will change in accordance to what setting that you're looking at, whereas the Samsung Gear Fit has its own 1.84-inch curved Super AMOLED display, which is one of the first of its kind on any sort of fitness band, and it's definitely eye-catching, and you can't help but notice it. In terms of wearing these bands on your wrist, I found that both were comfortable. There was a bit more adjustability on the Gear Fit, whereas the Nike Fuelband, you can only choose to swap out some of the links, which means you might not get the perfect or ideal fitment. If anything, I found that the Gear Fit was slightly bulky, especially it has the protruding screen. It didn't have that same streamlined factor as the Nike Fuelband, which I prefer, and when I was lifting weights and doing some exercises, I found that the screen of the Gear Fit would actually get in the way of my wrist, which definitely is a bit of an inconvenience, and I would like to see this more streamlined in future editions. In terms of performance, Nike tracks your activity or fitness levels in what Nike calls Nike Fuel. This is a sort of calorie counter with Nike's own spin to it. As you get more used to the fuel count, you'll start to get a sense of how much fuel you burn each day, each week, and even each month. It also has calories, steps, and the time, and that's pretty much it. Extremely simple, to the point, and it just works. The Gear Fit, on the other hand, is a bit more advanced and has a few more features. It tracks your steps taken using the built-in pedometer, but you always have to remember to press start. I remembered I used this for my first day or two at the gym, and I forgot to press start, and it said that I moved 0 steps, which was pretty much useless. It doesn't really track your activity unless you press that start button. And this is the same in the exercise tab when you're greeted with 4 different options of either walking, running, cycling, or hiking. You have to press start on one of these, otherwise it doesn't track your fitness or your activity at all. Once you've done this and then you press stop, you can see the amount of kilometers that you've either walked, ran, cycled, or hiked, and also how many calories you've burned. This doesn't really take into account other sorts of activities you can do. For example, I was doing some weightlifting last night and I found that the count was pretty skewed. It gave me an incorrect reading of how many kilometers I walked. I think it said I ran or walked 6 kilometers when I was just pacing around, just doing some weights. So I think this definitely needs a bit of work. It also has a heart rate monitor, which you can check your heart rate. It's a nice little feature, but not a selling factor or a deal breaker in my opinion. The Gear Fit also has numerous features and options that aren't fitness related. For example, it has a stopwatch as well as timer, but it also has the option to find your device, and this has to be a Samsung Galaxy phone, and I'll get to this more in a bit, but this is the start of the deal breaker in my opinion. So I just got back from the gym and tested these out for the last time just to give my final thoughts and wrap up on these two types of fitness bands. They'll serve a similar purpose, but they will definitely fit different sorts of niches. The Gear Fit has a better screen as well as more features, but also remember it costs more money. It comes in at $200 compared to the Nike Fuelband's $150. And also remember you need a Samsung Galaxy product, a phone or a tablet, just for this thing to work. I managed to bypass that on my HTC One, so if you have an Android device, it might work. I'll post that info in the description box. But if you have iOS or Windows Phone 8, you're a proud new owner of a useless paperweight, since this won't work without one of those devices. The Nike Fuelband 2 is a bit more simple and a bit cheaper, and it tracks your activity level in what Nike calls Nike Fuel. That's either a good or a bad thing. Once you've used the Nike Fuelband over, say, a month or two, you can really start to notice or get a sense of how much fuel you'll burn in a day or 2 days. And once you've gotten a bit more familiar, you can start to set your goals and new challenges, I guess, in the near future. It works with iOS or has a compatible app with iOS only, And it's a really nice app, really well laid out, and you can set new goals, set new challenges, see how your friends are doing. But also remember, this works without that app just as good. You can go onto your computer, just download the software, and within 10 minutes this will be working, and you don't necessarily need the app for this to work. I found that it also fits a tad bit better than the Gear Fit. It's not as big and bulky on the wrist, and overall, I think the winner, just by a tad, is the Nike Fuelband. So let me know what you think about these two fitness bands in the comments down below. First off again was the Samsung Gear Fit and the second gen Nike Fuelband, or the Fuelband SE. If you guys are rocking wearable tech, which one would it be? Would it be one of these two? Let me know in the comments. If you guys like this content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you already have it, and give it a thumbs up if you found it useful. And of course, I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace.